Hey guys, today we are going to change the valve cover gaskets on this 2005 Honda Odyssey with a 3.5 liter engine. If this video is helpful, can you smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below for the algorithm, really helps out a lot. First, take off your cover, so turn these two little plastic screws here and you can take this cover right off. Now we're going to unhook some clips. I've already pinched the tabs, so we're going to unhook this one, this one, this one right here, and also this one right here. Now we're going to unhook this hose right here, or right here if it's easier. This hose right here, and this hose right here at whatever point is easiest for you. And we're gonna loosen this hose clamp right here holding this tube onto the throttle body. Now we're gonna take out all of these screws or bolts right here and that one. These two are nuts. They're all 10 millimeter. So just take those out. All right, now we're gonna take off this center plate here. So just take something to pry under here, just pop it loose, and then you can take this right off. All right, now we're gonna remove these 12 millimeter fasteners. Some of them are bolts, some of them are nuts. So you got a nut here and a nut here, and the rest of these are bolts. Take all those out. All right, now we're gonna remove this intake tube right here. So take this hose clamp off and then take this out. And then just take something and pry this away from the air box, and you should be able to wiggle this tube out. All right, now we're gonna undo this hose clamp right here and unhook this hose. All right, there is one more hose right there is the hose clamp that you'll have to take off. You might be able to see it a little better from here. It's that hose right there. Take that hose clamp off and push that hose off. Coolant started coming out of that hose, so I just shoved a little bolt in the end of that hose to keep it from leaking out. Last thing we got to do here is take out this bolt. And there's one more right down here at the end of my finger. And then you can lift the manifold up and out. All right, now we've got our intake off here. You don't want to drop anything down there. So I'm just, you can either tape it off, or I just took this piece of cardboard, set that over top. Now we'll do our front here. So take out your ignition coils here. So you just pinch the clip and pull these off for all three of these, and then these are 6 millimeter hex screws holding these in, and take those three things out. Now we're going to take out these two 10 millimeter bolts holding in the wiring harness. All right, now we're going to take out that bolt, that bolt, that bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and you'll take out your dipstick here, and then you should be able to wiggle your valve cover gasket out from underneath that wiring harness. All right, I got it out here. I really took a lot to break the bottom part of the gasket free. But then I found it easiest to pull it down this way and then pull it out like that. So now we're gonna pull this old gasket out of here. So I'm just gonna get like a knife or a screwdriver and get in here and pull this gasket out right here. Then if these didn't come out when you first took them out, pull those out for all of the screws or bolts that were fastening down the cover. Now what we need to do is pop the 3 spark plug seals out. So I got this middle one out, and what I did is I just took the propane torch here and just went around it really carefully, not like direct heat, but just warming it up. A heat gun would work really well for this. Warm it up and it gets a little bit more pliable. And then I just take like a knife or some kind of pry tool, work in the corner here, and then just kind of like pry it out. You can see where that divot is right there where it was like this, and I just pried it out like that. So you need to take all three of those out. I've got a new Felpro gasket kit here. I will have this kit and another kit that has a bunch of the seals that we took out from the intake manifold in it. Now I'll have those linked down in the description below. These are the two Felpro gasket kits that I got. You won't use all of the parts in this kit, but you'll use all the parts in this kit. All right, now we need to take these off so that it looks like this. So again, I'm gonna heat this with my torch, get it nice and warm. You can almost, I mean, this doesn't matter if it burns a little bit. Then I'm gonna stick it in the 16mm deep well and hit it with the hammer, not too hard because I don't wanna mushroom this head out, but I just wanna punch it through there. And if this gets destroyed, it's fine. And then I've got a 12mm deep well socket here. And then to put these new seals on the bolts here, I set it on there, hit it with the hammer. Takes a good deal of hitting to get them in there. And then once you get it started, you can usually just use your fingers and hands like this and squeeze them and pinch them back in there. Then for this gasket here, there's a couple little tabs right here and right here. Stick those tabs in there and start, and then just work the seal all the way around and stick it in there like that. All right, these need to go in this way, like this. And then I've got an 1¼ inch socket like this, and just use that to push them nice and square down in the hole. And there you go. Ready to put this back in, and we'll work on the back. All right, remember this is your short bolt right here. All right, so we've got a 10mm bolt right there and a 10mm bolt right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Those hold the wiring harness onto the valve cover, so take those off. I'm gonna unplug this one to try to give us a little bit more clearance here. Then we are gonna go around and unbolt the valve cover gasket. So that bolt, that bolt, that bolt. And then you can see that bolt and that bolt on the back side. Then we need to unhook this hose here with a set of needle nose and pull that hose off. Then after that, we're gonna come back here and you will unhook all three of your coil packs and take out the screws holding the coil packs in. If I didn't mention before, it's a 6mm hex key to take out those screws holding the ignition coils in. I'm also going to take this clip right here off to get a little bit more clearance. Couple more things. I unhooked this ground right here, 10mm. I pulled this wire out of that little recess that it clips into. And then I unhooked here we go, right here. I unhooked this clip right here that slides onto that clip, onto that middle clip right there. There's a little tab right here with my finger. You push out and then you can push this off. Okay, last thing before you pull this out is that bolt right there needs to be taken off. Then you should have enough clearance to pull this out. Okay, this is a real kind of a pain to get out. What I did was lift it up on this side and push it back, and then basically try to twist it this way like this, and then you can slide it out like this. But it's a struggle, but you can do it. Okay, we've got our new gasket in here. We've got our new spark plug tube gaskets in, and we've got our fastener gaskets on. One thing to note is that there are two different 3.5 engines in these Honda Odysseys. If you have the i-vtech, then yours will look like this, where there's this funny shaped thing here. If you just have the regular VTEC, it's my understanding that this rear valve cover will look pretty much the same as the front, where it's just, there's no dip right here, it's just straight around. And it is two different part numbers, so I'm going to have the part numbers for the i-vtech and the regular VTEC. This is the Felpro gasket set for the i-vtech. Alright, before I stick this valve cover back in here, I want to show you something. And that's on the i-vtech right here. There's this this aluminum piece right here that has gasket maker underneath. These are two separate pieces here, the head and then the part of the VTEC unit there. So it's a good idea to get some black gasket maker. I'll have this linked in the description below on Amazon, and put some right here and then also on the back side right there, because sometimes that new valve cover gasket doesn't seal in that crack very well, and so you can get leaks right there. So put a little black gasket maker right there. Okay, I think you can see right there, it's just a little dab. Just basically get that gasket maker worked into that crevice right here, and the same on the back side. Now start reassembling. Put the fasteners back in here, the two on the back. Just start putting stuff back together the way you took it apart. Don't forget that power steering connection back there. Remember, your three shorter fasteners go in the front and your two longer ones go in the back. One more word of advice when you put these in is to make sure the spark plug tubes seat correctly. So I just reached back here with my finger and I could feel rubber sticking out. So before you tighten these all the way down, like I just started threading all of them in there, so they're just started. And then I took a small screwdriver and used it to push that seal all the way around in on the spark plug tube. Now we're gonna take this old gasket off right here. We're gonna take that out, put our new one in there, and set our intake manifold back down on there. All right, we've got our intake manifold put back on. So now we're gonna peel the gasket out of this here, put our new gasket in, and put it back together. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, smash that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm, and thank you for watching.